In this video, you're going to see how to mix tones with tempera paint. You're going to need the following supplies to do this: 2 paintbrushes, a jar of water, a couple paper towels, and you're going to need a palette. You're going to use the following colors: white tempera paint, yellow tempera paint, the blue, and the red. So you are going to begin by filling the palette with these colors. And for this, you only need the amounts shown. You can add more later if you need to. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to mix the secondary colors. So we know the primary colors are there already, and I'm mixing up the blue and the red to make a purple. And I paint some right on the page, a little dot of it. You can make it bigger if you want to. So that is your first secondary color. Now I'm going to make another secondary color, and you might guess what that's going to be. Red and yellow, that is going to make orange. You're trying to mix equal amounts in this, equal amounts of red and orange, equal amounts of red and blue. And then for the third secondary color, you probably can guess what we're going to do. We're going to make a green and paint that right on the page. So there you have primary and secondary colors. We only have the secondary colors on the page right now. So what I want you to do once you have done that is you're going to mix up tones of these colors. Many colors can be created just from those 3 primary colors. So the first tone we're going to create is we are going to create a neutral or a brown using yellow and purple. All right, so you need to use some of the yellow and then some of the purple that you've already created, and then I want you to paint that onto the page. The next tone you are going to create is blue and orange. So you take some of the blue and put it right into the orange you've already created, and then paint that onto the page. So far, you should have something that looks like this. And you can see there are 2 tones created from the secondary and primary colors that you have created. And the third tone that I want you to create is a mixture of red and green. So this is going to create a dull brown or gray, and depending on how much red is in there, you might have a redder looking brown, and if you put more green into it, you're going to have a more gray tone. So this is how all colors are mixed, just starting with the primary colors and mixing them in specific ways. You can get any color, almost any color is possible. Now there are different versions of reds and blues out there, and that will create a little bit different colors in your tones, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now what I want you to do is I want you to mix white into these tones that you've created. So the first one is that mixture of yellow and purple, and now it has some white, and I'm going to do this 2 more times, each time adding more white. And you can see that this could be used for a skin tone. And you have a variety of color here. So where it's very light on a person's face, let's say, you would use that very light version. And where it's in shadow, you might use the darkest version of that. Now I'm going to do that again for the other tones. I'm going to add white into them and see what happens. You are going to end up with a variety of colors, and these can be used for many things, including skin tone, If you're painting a landscape, it might be the color of the ground. If you wanted something that looked like trees, you might have a green, and you might add just a teeny bit of red to dull down the intensity of that original color. So this is the next version here. So I'm adding to the orange and blue mixture, I am adding a little bit of white, and there we have a little bit more white, and then I'm going to even make that lighter. So here is the final mixture that I'm going to create. So I need to create a little more purple before I mix this up. It's basically different ratios of primary colors that are mixed together. So as you can see, this is the red and the green, and I have a little bit of white into that red and green. And this is a little more on the red side. So if I mix this over again, I would probably use more green. But this gives you an idea of how you can create the colors that you see using tempera.